All right, let's talk about a message. It's just 6 little words, but it carries a whole universe of meaning. A phrase you have almost definitely sent or gotten, or at the very least, thought about sending. I saw you in my dream. So, what is really going on when someone hits you with that? Let's get into it.
Okay, so let's just start right here. Picture this. You wake up from a super vivid dream, and right there in the middle of it was a friend, maybe an ex, or even that person you have a crush on. You've got your phone in your hand, and your thumb is just hovering over their name. Do you actually tell them? Do you hit send? Well, the answer, it's complicated.
And this is really the heart of the whole thing, isn't it? On one side, it could be this pure, almost magical thing. A genuine message from deep in your subconscious that points to some kind of unexplainable bond. But let's be honest. On the other side, it's one of the oldest and most reliable tricks in the book, a totally calculated move that gives you perfect plausible deniability. So, which is it?
Okay, let's start with the most common take on this. The idea that this phrase has less to do with dreams and, well, everything to do with strategy. It really is the ultimate social alibi. I mean, think about how useful this thing is. It's like the Swiss Army knife of excuses for reaching out. It's the perfect way to break a long, awkward silence. It's a classic for testing the waters with a former partner. And if you have a crush, it's the perfect low-risk way to start a conversation. You get to say, hey, I'm thinking about you, without the pressure of actually saying those words. Yeah, this quote just nails the subtext, right? It suggests that most of us don't really hear this and think, oh, a report from their subconscious. We hear, I miss you, but my ego is way too big to just text you out of the blue. It's a way to reach out that keeps that ego safe and sound. You're not admitting you miss them. No. You're just passing along a message from the cosmos that just so happens to serve your interests. And that's the key. This isn't just a statement. It's a move. It's like a little game of social chess. You send the text, and then you wait. Their response tells you everything. A dry, oh, cool, is pretty much a dead end. But if you get that curious, engaged, oh, really? What was it about? Well, that tells you the door might just be open for a real conversation. Now, this whole strategy gets a lot riskier when we venture into what we'll call the X-Files. This is absolutely the most high-stakes, emotionally loaded use of the phrase, dropping it on a former partner.
This is a serious gamble. One person shared this story about calling their ex with the dream excuse, only to hear a full-on party happening in the background and someone else laughing. The emotional whiplash is just, wow. Because if they sound sad, your heart immediately breaks for them. But if they sound happy, like happy without you, your blood just boils. And all you can think is, I really hope that person laughing in the background has a terrible night. It's just a moment of pure, uncut emotional risk.
And here is the powerful counterpoint. Is doing this just selfish? Are you dragging someone who's moved on with their life back into your emotional drama just to make yourself feel better or satisfy your own curiosity? As this person puts it so bluntly, people aren't toys you can just pick up and play with whenever you're feeling a little nostalgic. But what about the people who are actually telling the truth? This brings us to this really interesting and kind of frustrating problem, the curse of the cliché. And this is the real tragedy for the honest dreamers out there. You've had a genuinely weird or funny or deep dream about someone, and you just want to share this bizarre little connection you had. But because the phrase has been used as a line for so long, your sincerity gets hit with a wall of suspicion. Your real moment is just lost in everybody else's cynicism. This person really points out how the people using it as a ploy kind of ruin it for everybody. The one tool that could be used for a really unique, authentic moment of connection has been completely overused and worn out. So the people who are being honest just stay quiet because they're worried they'll just sound like another person running the same old play. So now we get to my favorite part. Because sometimes the actual dreams are so out there, so deeply strange that telling someone about them is a completely different kind of risk. Okay, just take a second to appreciate the beautiful chaos of the human mind. Let me walk you through this person's actual dream step by step. It starts normally enough. They're at their parents' house with their best friend. The friend is on a bunk bed, crying in agony, begging for help. Being a good friend, they agree to help with the problem. But as they get closer, bam, they suddenly transform into Jack from the TV show Lost. Then, as that's happening, their friend transforms into them. So now they are the ones sobbing on the bed, and they, as Jack, can't bring themselves to help, even though the person on the bed is them. It's just a masterpiece. And here's how it played out in the real world. The dreamer tries to make a little joke out of this unbelievably weird subconscious soap opera, and of course, they immediately become the butt of the joke, probably forever. So maybe some dreams are just best kept to yourself. And this wasn't just a one-off thing. The source was full of these gems. Can you imagine waking up from a dream where you found out your father-in-law was secretly Darth Vader and he lived in Ankara, Turkey? Or that you watched Jupiter and Saturn start a casual game of soccer using Earth as the ball? I mean, how do you even begin to text someone about that? So, after we've looked at the strategic angle, the selfish angle, and the just plain weird angle, what's the big takeaway? What is this phrase actually about? When you really boil it all down, it seems like "I saw you in my dream" is almost never about the dream itself. It's a container. It's this socially acceptable little box that we use to hold a vulnerable feeling that we're too nervous to just hand over by itself. It's the wrapping paper we use for things like "I miss you," or "I was just thinking about you," or even "Hey, are you okay?" And this brings up a fantastic question, which one user put perfectly. After all the games and the codes and the plausible deniability, why not just be direct? Why not just say what you mean? Because that simple, honest message, "I was thinking of you," is often so much more powerful and way more beautiful than any dream could ever be, real or not. And that leaves us with one final thing to think about. This whole phrase is really just one example. In our world of DMs and instant messages, what other little codes or excuses or harmless lies do we rely on? What stories do we tell each other and maybe even ourselves, all just to close that gap and feel a little more connected? It's something to chew on.